hope that it's one of your favorites. Here he is singing Blues in the Night. Ladies and gentlemen, Joe Stafford. Joe Stafford.
And he does, and it's caught! Touchdown! Chris Matthews! How crazy.
With the first pick in the 2009 NFL Draft, the Detroit Lions select Joe Stafford, quarterback, Georgia.
Good kick up into the air. It's loose and recovered by Seattle. Chris Matthews.
So let's get started.
I can't get over how good that intro is. Jesus. Anyway, Stafford and Matthews, episode 24. As always, Joe Stafford, Chris Matthews, intern Kev. Boys, we're back for yet another episode on this fine Tuesday afternoon. And we have breaking news pretty much. Broke a couple days ago, but here we are. J.J. Watt has signed with the Arizona Cardinals. I was shocked. I don't know if you guys saw it. If you guys follow Stafford and Matthews' Instagram, I went on a whole rant about it. Basically asking the question, why? Why is the question? J.J. Watt had offers on the table from at least, I guess money has to factor in at least a little bit. But I'm saying Tennessee, Indianapolis, Cleveland, Buffalo, Green Bay. These are all teams that offered, that has been proven that they've offered on J.J. Watt. And it actually just came out before the show started that almost all of those teams offered more money than the Arizona Cardinals, more than 2 year, $31 million. And I've taken a couple days now to kind of register it, kind of think about it a little bit as to why Arizona was the place for Watt to sign. And there's a couple of reasons I came up with. One, it's DeAndre Hopkins' recruiting job. I mean, this guy must have got this guy a Porsche, got him some chicks. Like, I don't know what the hell he did to him, but he went down to the desert, had a grand old time with DeAndre Hopkins, his former Houston Texan teammate, and something happened because he signed very quickly after Hopkins started recruiting him. Number two, he believes in Kyler Murray. And I like Kyler Murray a lot. I do. I think he's going to be a phenomenal ball player for the next decade or so. I think he's exciting. I think he's young. I think he's, elusive. I think he's all the rage of what a young quarterback should be in 2020, 2021. I understand that. But this Cardinals team, at least what I said a couple days ago, is 2 to 3 years away from even competing for a title. They need a lot more pieces on both sides of the football before they're actually top tier contenders. I'd argue right now, there's two teams in their own division better than them. So at the end of the day, you have to wonder, JJ, you had a lot better options and had more money from those better options on the table. And you chose Arizona. I think it's the wrong move. For me, I think it's the wrong move. I don't know how you guys feel about it. I'll kind of give the floor to you, but I don't like it.
I'm not going to lie to you. I don't like it either. But I want to give all credit to where credit is due to not only J.J. Watt, but his team as well, of not being able to keep it close to the vest and, come out with this payday. I mean, listen, at his age right now, the past couple years hasn't been the great J.J. Watt that we have seen. For him to still be able to get this kind of money or even offered more than what he's gotten already, it blows my mind. But that just speaks to a tone of, the type of guy he is, how much people respect him, how hard working he is, and he deserves it. So, hats off to JJ Watt, man. I salute you for getting this payday, because a lot of other people wouldn't be able to get this going in their later part of the season. I mean, in the later part of the years. But I think, honestly, for me, the Cardinals front office is probably over there in their office, drinking, smoking, and laughing at the Texans all the way to the bank. They're like, even if they're not taking over, even if they're not depositing money into their account, they're taking some out. But nonetheless, they're laughing to that bank because they got not one, but two premier players from that organization. I don't know what the Texans are doing over there. Or John Gruden got and sent off Khalil Mack for some crazy reason that he thought was going to work. But yeah, like I don't know what they're doing over there. Cardinals they're just winning over and over again. And you're saying that there are, you say that there's two teams that's in their division right now that they have to worry about. I mean, honestly, I'm only really worried about one. And everybody else is pretty much a toss-up game. Everybody looks good on paper until you get out there and you actually start playing. So I'm not really scared of, I don't really see them scared of anybody else in their division like that. But for sure, Kyler Murray should feel like, he's getting all the love and treatment that he's getting because he was actually mentioned as the reason why he came to Arizona. But I mean, think about it, man. Come on, Joe. Like, outside of the beach, the desert is like the next best place to go and retire at, or, right off into the sunset with all the money that's in his pocket. I mean, 23 million guaranteed. I
mean, fair enough. Point taken. I do kind of get that a little bit. I do.
Terrell Suggs went there. Chandler Jones, all these great players, they probably all have been talking to him like, man, you're going to have the best time of your life over here.
You might be right. You could be right. I guess it comes down to me being wrong about one thing. JJ Watt's will to win a championship.
Yeah.
That's where I went wrong. I think that's where almost everyone predicted.
I think we all are, to be honest with you.
Yeah, because I thought Watt was one of those hungry guys that just wanted to win above all else. But I guess I was wrong. And it's sad to say, because I think Watt's probably one of the most beloved characters of the last 10 years in the NFL. I think he's been like branded Captain America almost in terms of his playing ability, his patriotism, all that stuff. Working in the community even too. He's a great humanitarian, does a lot of community stuff in the Houston area and everything too. But I just underestimated his will to win. That's the bottom line. I really underestimated what he was willing to do and where he was willing to go in order to win a championship. And I was just wrong about that. Kev, what are your thoughts on this real quick?
Well, I'm sorry, but who's to say that they won't make it? Like I said, there's only one team that's in their division that they're worried about.
You asked who's not. You asked pretty much like who's going to say they're not going to make it. It's me. I'm the one saying that they're not going to make it. The Seahawks are better. The Rams are better. The Niners could trade for Deshaun Watson tomorrow and be better. Like, we don't know. We really don't know. This is.
Don't know if Russell Wilson is even going to be in Seattle, even though I think he is, but we don't know. Yeah, I'm not the fortunate.
Point taken. I mean, there's a lot of unknowns throughout the entire division, but I mean, I think the Rams are objectively better on almost every position. I think the Seahawks are probably better than you once the season starts. And if the Niners get everything figured out, they could be better than you too. You realistically could be the Cardinals. Realistically, could be the worst team in that division. Realistically, it could very well happen.
I can go with that, but I will want to see more just coming out of like who's actually doing what. I mean, yes, 49ers, we're getting all of our players back. We'll be able to have a full off season to be able to work and get things going. But still, like I said, Seattle, we don't know what their quarterback's going to do. You talk about the Rams. The Rams, they look like a great team, but they are older on the offensive end, more on the offensive end than they are on the defensive end. And that's something that you have to worry about right there. Even though we both love Matthew Stafford, he hasn't won anything significant in his career, in his NFL career. So I can't really just give it all, even though I want to. In my heart, I want to, because they have what you would want out of that team. But no, I don't think that they're gonna. I'm not gonna say I don't think they do. I'm just gonna say I don't know. We got to leave it. We're just gonna leave it there to see what the Rams are gonna do. But the Cardinals, I think the Cardinals have a legit shot at beating, coming out of their division for sure.
I just don't think they're there yet, especially considering some of the losses they had last year. Mainly to these guys. The New England Patriots, led by Cam freaking Newton, beat them in clutch time. That should not be happening. They started off red hot. Kyler Murray was MVP favorite at week 3. Like, they were balling out, and then they lost their consistency and went downhill and finished with a losing record. That's what I'm worried about. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. That's the whole.
That team, just Kyler Murray.
Right, but the thing is, the quarterback affects the team in almost every
You're
fashion.
right.
You know what I mean? Like, he affects the team more than any other position does in football. That's really how it works. So if Hito goes down, the whole team goes down with him. It's like a captain in the ship. But
Absolutely. I don't really believe any other player besides the quarterback can drastically affect a team if they're going to make it to the Super Bowl or not.
Yeah, quarterback's the most important position in sports, I think, period. I really do believe that. But back to your point about the division being stacked or not. Yeah, I mean, I guess you can go up and down whether or not, the Cardinals are the second best, third best, first best, wherever your opinion could be. But there's a couple of objective teams they had on the docket that are the best teams in their division, like bar none. Indianapolis, I mean, they're better than almost every team in the division. Maybe Tennessee's up there where they're competing with it, but I think Indy's still, a little bit better than them. AFC East, Buffalo. I mean, Buffalo was a huge place for J.J. Watt, where he was supposed to land and everything. They're light years better than the Jets, better than the Dolphins, and better than the goddamn Patriots. So that's where I have a problem with it in terms of division talking, because they definitely – Watt had the ability to sign with a team that was the number one in their division without question. But now he goes to a team where it's very, very debatable if they're even two. That's where I have a problem with it. Anyway, while we're on the subject, this is going to be kind of our pattern for Stafford and Matthews, if you guys are listening, over the next few weeks here, even next couple of months. We're going to have a checklist. Me and Chris are going down a list here. 3 things each team needs to do to be better in 2021. Obviously, with Watt, signing with the Cardinals, it made sense for them to go. Also, they're first in alphabetical order, or like kind of first in alphabetical. They're an A. That's all that matters. So we're doing the Cardinals today. Top 3 things the Cardinals need to do to improve in 2021. I'll go first. Number 1, address the offensive line. For the past 3 years, they've been bottom 25. That's unacceptable no matter what standard you're using. And not to mention, you drafted 2 quarterbacks in consecutive first rounds, and you didn't even address the offensive line once. That's a big boy problem for Kyler Murray to deal with. Yes, I understand he's elusive. He runs outside the pocket. It's natural for him to be on the move. But to win in the National Football League, you need a clean pocket. I don't care what kind of quarterback you have under center. You need a pocket for your quarterback to work in. He needs to feel comfortable. If he's not feeling comfortable and running around the whole goddamn game, we saw what happened in the Super Bowl with Kansas City. They're doing the same thing. Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback on the planet, and his offensive line didn't do anything for him. And look what happened. They got blown out by Tom Brady, who's 43 years old.
Crazy, ain't it?
Crazy, ain't it? It's insanity. Arizona needs to do the same thing. We're gonna go like opposites here. So, Chris, what was your first need for Arizona this offseason?
I'm right there with you on this one. We've been talking about it throughout this whole season about offensive line play, and it was pretty much abysmal throughout this whole season for the Arizona Cardinals. You can tell that they don't have that much trust in your O-line when you have specific plays designed for your quarterback just to get the hell out of there and figure it out on the down the road. That's something that they absolutely need to tackle in the right guard for me, I would personally say. But other than that, yeah, that's my hot take right there for sure.
It's not a hot take. I mean, it's not a hot take. I mean, that's one of the most normal level-headed takes I've ever heard in my life. I mean, to be honest with you, like that's just normal. If you have a common sense in your head, you understand the Cardinals need offensive line help. That's all that matters there.
And it's crazy. It is crazy because you say that about they drafted 2 first-round quarterbacks back to back. I just feel like Rosen was he was a special talent for sure, especially coming out of UCLA. He was a sight to see. If I truly feel like if they had a built up a offensive line around him, I'm more than sure he would have been able to take that team to a new height, because he was proving it throughout college, throughout his whole time there.
Yeah, but as soon as they hired Cliff, it was over for him. I think most of the NFL realized that he was done. But no, he's been bouncing around a little bit. Was in Tampa a little bit this year. I think he signed with someone. I'm not really sure who he signed with. Kev, who did he sign with? Who doesn't sign with? Give me a quick Google real quick.
Said Rosen.
Josh Rosen. Where is he right now?
Probably
Even the 49ers.
The San Francisco 49ers. Wow. Would that be a story? Would that be a story for Chris Matthews? Unbelievable.
Hey, everybody's coming off an injury. Who knows? Everybody's going to get a shot this year.
Exactly. Garoppolo could be out the door.
Training camp is going to be crucial.
Oh, for sure. 100%. All right. Number 2 on my list for Arizona. You need to draft a cornerback high. On my little list here, I put high in all caps. You want to know why? Because your secondary blows chunks. It's not good. Buda Baker, yeah, great player, very, very versatile safety. He can play at almost every level of the defense. Yes, I like him a lot. Outside of that, what do you have? The answer is jack shit. Patrick Peterson, God bless his soul, one of the best lockdown corners of the past, the 2010s era and everything. He's old. He's old as shit. It's time to move on. He can't play number 1 corner football anymore. He can't do it. He's not capable of doing it. Yeah, better in leadership. I understand that. Maybe even move to safety. Maybe I could see that happening too. But you need to draft a corner high. In terms of the actual draft, how that looks, Arizona doesn't have a wicked high pick, not a really low pick. So it's kind of in the middle of the desert there, no pun intended, for the Arizona Cardinals in the first round. Options available. Cardinals fans, it's not going to be Patrick Surtain. He'll be long gone. He's going top 10, if not top 8 in this draft.
I was going to say, top 5, honestly.
Surtain is gone. Caleb Farley out of Virginia Tech, probably also gone. You're looking at J.C. Horn from South Carolina. That's probably your best target for a man-on-man guy who can lock down one side of the field. I've kind of scouted him a little bit. I wish I saw him at the combine. Actually, we should be here. Actually, before we move on, me and Chris and Bab should be at the combine right now.
Mm-hmm.
It was supposed to start 2 days ago. We should be there right now. How fucking depressing is that? That is horrible. I cried myself to sleep for the past 2 nights. I'm getting all my snap memories from Indianapolis from last year going, and it's just depressing. COVID, you are the fucking worst thing to happen in my entire existence. Horrible. You ruin everything. Back to football. J.C. Horn is your guy right now if you're Arizona. He's the only attainable corner that's worth taking in that 15 to 19 range where they're picking, unless they want to trade up. I don't see a need to trade up. I really don't see why they would have an enticing reason to trade up unless you got a really great package to move into the top 12 there. But if I'm them, I'm sitting at 15 to 19. I don't really know where their actual position is. They're in the mid-teens. I'm going J.C. Horn. Chris, what's your second key to the Arizona Cardinals improving?
My second key, I would honestly go on the other side of the ball. Speculations of Larry Fitzgerald just calling it this year. We don't know. Hopefully, he ends up on his feet with somewhere else, maybe. If that's the case, we need somebody out there to basically be his safety blanket. It's a couple guys out there. You got what was the old dude's name? Receiver Christian Kirk. Christian Kirk. That was my guy right there. He won me a lot of points in fantasy this year with his play. So, that's a good guy. That's a good guy to hang on to, and a couple others. But, you need that security blanket. Maybe it might be a tight end. It might be a receiver. But you need somebody to go out there and actually, be able to catch those balls that Kyler Murray's out there throwing. Those amazing passes. D-Hop is still D-Hop, but everybody always needs help. That's why, Batman needed Robin at one point in time. So everybody needs help. They have a couple pieces over there on the offensive side, maybe even a running back. I don't know. But for me, I would personally go for a receiver, in the later part of the rounds and see what happens there.
So I might have a suggestion for you. So based on what you're saying, they need basically a binky. They need a binky for Kyler Murray to rely on with Fitz being gone. I understand that. A couple of guys off the top of my head, I don't really have a list in front of me, but a couple of guys. Jonnu Smith out of Tennessee, the free agent. I think that could be a great fit now. Yeah. And it'd be probably a cheap option, honestly, for Arizona. A guy like Hunter Henry's hitting free agency. Maybe we'll see him go to the desert away from Justin Herbert.
Godwin.
Yeah, exactly. Chris Godwin's available as well. And maybe even a guy like that.
Nasty combination right there.
It would
Chris
be nasty.
With D-Hop?
It would be sick. It would be sick. Another guy to throw out there, maybe he's not the most sexy option, but dealt a lot of potential, a lot of upside. Evan Engram, the tight end for the Giants here. He basically plays a hybrid receiver tight end role. Anyway, Chris, I see you shaking your head. I understand that he hasn't really performed to his draft stock. I understand. I get it. but the potential there is too high not to invest in. And I'm very willing to bet the Giants would trade him away for next to nothing. I'm fairly certain.
I'm not really too high on him, so I'm gonna get out of that one. I don't need to say anything about it.
Okay, and this kind of segues into my third point here. Third key to the Cardinals succeeding in 2021: add a reliable number 2. Chris had it right on the head with his last pick. But my choice, if I could pick anyone that's hitting free agency this year, it's not Chris Godwin, not Hunter Henry, not Johnny Smith, none of those guys we talked about. It's Will Fuller. Will Fuller reunites with DeAndre Hopkins in Arizona. They played together in Houston for years and 3 or 4 years. Were a deadly combination for Deshaun Watson, and now will be an even deadlier combination for Kyler Murray in Arizona. I love to look at that offense with Will Fuller stretching the field, Hopkins coming underneath a little bit. A lot of different combinations and play action stuff you can do with that tandem. I love having that dynamic of speed on one side and dominance on the other. And as you said, Christian Kirk's a solid slot option. I think he has some success in the league right now. I think he'll have some more as the years are to come. I think a guy like Andy Isabella out of UMass is a solid option. Not the sexiest option. He's 5'9", 160 pounds. I weigh more than the guy. But fast as lightning, ran a 4.3 at the combine. I think he has some potential as well. And there's a couple other guys that I would like down there as well. Back to your point before we move on to your final point, Chris. You set up a running back. I don't see them investing in a running back. A guy like Kenyon Drake is a bell cow back. He's proven it the last couple of years. He's been proven to be their go-to guy. Even a guy like Chase Edmonds, who backs him up. I think he's a solid option, both in and outside the backfield. He can catch outside the backfield, which adds some dynamic duo tendencies to that Arizona backfield. But if it were me, I'm investing in a high-end number 2 receiver like a Will Fuller, like a Chris Godwin, to make Kyler Murray's life that much easier. Chris, what's your third and final point for Arizona?
My third and final point is they got to figure out a way to get I don't know why I keep drawing a blank on this guy's name. Their best defensive lineman that they had coming out this year, besides Chandler Jones. What was his name? Kev, help me out here with this guy.
We got Peters, we got Hicks, Campbell.
No, not Campbell. The defensive tackle. The defensive tackle.
The effects of CTE, people.
I'm not sure. Jordan Phillips. I don't see any other names.
Man, damn, I got his name. I've been trying to figure out this guy's name for the longest, but they need to figure that out, because for me, the defensive line, they need one more piece, I feel like, just to shore up that back end for the defensive line. Yes, you have Chandler Jones, who is a legend. You just signed JJ Watt, who is another legend. But these guys, like I said before, are coming off of injuries. They haven't been the best in their position in the past year or two. Maybe more so for JJ Watt. I know he had a great 2019 season. But other than that, it's been pretty down. So for me, just going in as a GM, I need to shore that up. And what better way to shore that up is probably, going to draft and probably pick up a defensive tackle to help them out, or pick somebody up in the, off of free agency who's probably not going to hurt their bank any more than what they have already done with JJ Watt.
Fair enough. I mean, I think that's probably a good point. I think, to your point here, people underestimate the effect of both lines. A football game is won at the line of scrimmage.
Absolutely.
That's the bottom line. If you control the line of scrimmage, you control the game. That's the bottom line here for both sides of the football. Like if I had to draft an expansion team, right? We have an expansion draft. The first 10 picks outside of quarterback I'm making are on defensive and offensive line. Literally, that's the first 10 picks I'm taking, because if you can control the line of scrimmage on both ends of the football, you're going to be a good football team. That's the bottom line. Absolutely. You can put any bum behind a good offensive line, they'll have a 1,000-yard season. That's always been my philosophy. That has been. That's been my philosophy since I was like 12, 13 years old. But yeah, definitely invest in that defensive line for sure. Kev, give me one thing you want to see Arizona do in 2021.
One thing you kind of mentioned a little bit, I think Kenyon Drake is important to this offense. He's a free agent right now. They haven't re-signed him yet. and they might not re-sign him, so they might just be left with Chase Edmonds, which I don't think that's a great look, especially with that offensive line right now, the way you talked about it. So I think Kenyon Drake's an important piece there.
If they move him,
Yannick Nurkic.
What was that?
Yannick Nurkic. That's the guy I was thinking about.
I've never heard of him.
Top defensive tackle. I mean, top defensive end this year.
Oh, you mean Yannick Ngakoue? Is that who you're talking about? Yannick Ngakoue.
You know, I'm terrible. I'm terrible with names. You can't.
I was gonna say, dude, that was pretty bad. That was pretty bad.
That's pretty good up instead. Aaron.
Aaron, I love that. But yeah, Kev, if you had to pick one running back to replace him in the draft or in free agency, who are you taking?
I don't think they would draft a running back, to be honest. So
yeah, I don't think so either. They need to pick.
I don't know who in free agency would be a good I think they should just re-sign Kenyon, to be honest.
Fair, I'm with you 100%. I don't think it's wise to move on for your running back like that, but that's just me.
Is it they need to sign him back because he's the best option, or is he the only option?
No, I think he's the only option right now. He's a good option, but he's the only option right now.
Okay, we're on the same page.
He's a good back.
I don't think he's a bad back, but there's nobody significantly better.
But he's not on the next level of where they're trying to go.
Yeah.
And that's no shot to him. I don't want to, sending these shots to him. Maybe he could get better this year and surprise everybody. Hell, I would want to be surprised, to be honest with you. But I just don't see it right now.
I agree to disagree, I guess. I think he's been proven to be a great running back in the system. I think the system fits him very well. I think he, exploded in his role a couple of years ago. I think he hasn't really put his foot off the gas pedal since. I mean, that's just my opinion on it. Anyway, final thoughts. Chris, you go first.
Final thoughts. I think there's going to be another huge splash coming up. Of course, with Deshaun Watson and figuring out where he's going to end up. But I think there's probably going to be one more, and I think it's going to be on the defensive side. So hopefully, we'll look. I'll keep on looking into that and asking around and see what's going on. But I think we will. Hopefully.
Chris's magic ball prediction. I like it.
It'll be nasty to see this guy in a whole new uniform. This guy, I've been rocking with this guy for a minute now, and I say anything, Joe's gonna put two and two together, and he's gonna ruin the whole thing, and then he's gonna be mad. The guy gonna be mad at me, like, you messed everything. I'm like, all right. So, but just know, I think there's gonna be one more splash that's gonna really change the team's outlook on it.
Okay, fair enough. Kev, final thought.
What do you guys think about the 17-game season? You think it'll change that much?
No.
Yeah, I think players fucking hate that. Honestly, I think I'm not.
Yeah.
I think Chris probably can speak to that better than I can. But to be honest with you, I mean, 17 games on a single body is a lot of work, a lot of extra pounding, and a lot of extra stuff nobody really needs. You already added an expanded playoff. You don't need an extra game in the regular season. It's going to end in more injuries, more catastrophic to individual franchises. It's a bad move. It's a bad move, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't think it's a great move either to try to stretch out games. But this is the NFL. They're gonna do whatever they want. If it's in place, you're gonna have to play it, and you're gonna have to do what you're gonna have to do. In the CFL, those guys are out there playing 18 games in a regular season. It's not even including the playoffs. So if they can figure it out and get it done, the NFL can too.
True, but I think the NFL has a lot more prima donnas than the CFL does.
No, absolutely.
So I mean, it's a give and take with that. We'll have to wait and see what happens there. My final thought: let's get a guest on next week. I want to interview someone. It's been a while. Let's get someone on.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what we should do? Let's get Randall Cobb back in this bitch. Like, I miss Randall. He's a good guy. He's a
I do too. I was literally just talking to him too, man.
Yeah, let's get Randall back on. Let's try for next week or something. That'd be fun. Also, shouting out this too. My mock draft is coming out next week. I'm saying this now on camera to make sure I actually fucking do it, because I keep pushing it off every couple of weeks. I'll do it this, I'll do it then. No, Joe, I'm doing it next week. It will be out next week. A whole breakdown of why I think picks, actually matter, and why I think certain players should fit with certain teams. Keep it out for that. That's it. Peace. We'll see you guys next week.
Hey.